Oh. All right. All right. Yeah, I think that's probably like maybe like best the best use of this time right now. Uh, there was like a definitely a range day today. Okay. 875, 895. On the retest of 21,925. And for the bearish thesis, 70, 35, 15, 21, 735, 21, 715. The recess of 2205. And then over the weekend, I'm going to definitely going to mm, all right, so the ES. So with the ES today, the levels that we were looking for are 605, 10, 15, 20. Probably have to find like I probably need to take like there was a range day. 6, 10, 615. Oh, 605, 610, 605, 610. 605, 10. And then it was like 615 or 615 and 20. 615 and 20. And the bearish thesis was, I think it was 680, 75, 660, 55. Six zeros, 75, 660, and 655. Okay. All right. So the day was definitely a range. I would say the day was obviously a bullish range. Obviously, it was a bullish range. Feb, mm, bullish range. All right. All right. Yeah, I really don't want to. I really don't even want. Well, no, you can't do that. All right. So 163, 202, 156, 163, 202. That's 202, 156. 156. And just in case we have situations like that. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Mm. Very comfortable. All right, and then 125 point bounce. All right, so 125 point bounce. All right, so points to the downside. Point rejection. All right, point bounce. Cool. All right. All right. So I just had to take down this data real quick. Usually when the stream starts, I'm just going to just input this data and just start collecting it. Now, this may not be, so either this trade is going to be very beautiful tonight, or I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be down. There's no in between. This range right here is going to be it is the mega break for both sides of the market today. It's the make or break. Either the bulls hold here, and if we hold, we can see a move to 880, possibly 925. But if we dump, we have no support underneath this range. There is no support. You can see that the market has been V bottoming, V bottom, V bottom. There is no support. This thing will not hold. The closest thing to support that we have is this range around like 670, 650 right here. This is the only form of support that we got, and I doubt that this holds. So if this is not going to hold, our next level of support would be down here around 580, and I doubt that's going to hold. We may see a bounce here back up into this range, and then they might knock it down. But if we lose this right here, if we lose this range, I mean, let's project this out into the future so we can still remember that if we lose that range right there, it will get nasty. It will get nasty. The Nasdaq will show whoever is foolish enough to long in this area how nasty she can be, because she's going down. There is no support underneath that range. None. Where is that range? That range is from like 511, 525, 511. We got down to 4. So this little range right here, so 525. 525 has been a level of support and resistance for a very long time. I would have that level marked out on your charts at all time, because the market loves that level. It loves it. It loves 525 for whatever reason. If we were to lose that area, you can see that they found support in this range, but if we lose it, there's no support. A V bottom does not count as support. A range counts as support. And the closest range that I see will be down here at 143, 140 area, 160. That's the closest range I see. So we definitely don't need, the bulls need to make sure that they get up here to 22K. Now, if we get up to 22K tonight, one or two things is obviously going to happen. Either the market is going to continue higher, and I'm thinking around like maybe 22, I'm sorry, 200, maybe 240 at the max. 240 at the max, because I mean, if we're getting above 240, then that means that we're taking our all-time high on the Nasdaq and we're going higher. All-time high currently is at 22,450. If the market is not going to take out that high, the only other option is to go lower. And like I said, this thing can get real nasty. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes out for how this market reacts. And we could see one of those days where we just see a big, big move down. Big move down. But I wouldn't count the bulls out yet, because obviously, as you can see, the market is it's still making higher lows. We're still making higher lows. Technically, we are trending. The market is still bullish. We're not making higher highs though, obviously. The highs are up here, but we're stair stepping our way up to those highs right there. I do think that we do break out above those highs though. The question is, once we get a breakout, once we get to that pullback, will the bulls buy? Will the bulls buy that pullback? Uh, what the bulls choose to do here at this pullback will dictate what happens. I feel that if we do see a move up in a pullback, why not take out the highs? Why not double top at the highs? Why not make all new all-time highs? Why not? But if the bulls don't buy that pullback, well, then I think this is what we have in store. It's highly likely that's what we have in store, unless we get some really good news that that shifts the momentum of the momentum of the market. So obviously, I'm always going to keep my eyes on this. I'm bullish until the bears prove that they want it, and obviously they don't want it. I do want to point out that right now we have a bullish move into a range. Usually, once we see a bullish move into a range, we should expect another move higher. We should expect that. Let's see where this thinking, where it leads us. It's the good old classic rally, base, rally, drop, base, drop. Simple technical analysis. Simple technical analysis. So about 140, we can potentially see 140. Let's look to see if there's anything at 140. Okay. So, I mean, there is a value area high here at like 130. There's something going on at 130. I don't see nothing that would suggest 140. I mean, I don't have a previous high in this area or nothing. And I don't think we got anything to the left here. So we'll see. Maybe around 140, 150. We'll keep a close eye on that level and see how price reacts once it trades into that area. And then we will trade accordingly based on how the market reacts. Because we always got to remember, our two mini contracts do nothing when there's trillions of dollars in contracts being traded by these firms. So we always have to move in their footsteps versus come into the market with a bias. So but we'll see, man. I'll keep the long. I'll accept my fate. This is a very high risk long. It's very high risk. Either I'm going to lose here or I'm going to be very happy. And there's no in between this. It's no in between. No in between. But today was definitely one of those days. I was able to pass my 20K Apex account. I'll activate that account probably next month. I have 3 Blue Sky accounts to pass, and I have a Tradeify account to pass. I'm probably just going to keep one Tradeify account. I don't think I'm just going to get a bunch of those. I'm just going to probably just keep one. And I'll activate that next month so I can focus on getting these accounts to target. So I was able to not only bring my account back from the dead. That account was almost dead this morning. For those that joined me earlier today in our morning stream, apparently I left a position open. I thought Apex auto closed, but I guess they didn't. And they allowed me to carry a losing position into the next session. It was a winner when I was in it, but it was a lingering limit that I left. If I closed it before the session, it would have been a very profitable trade. But like I said, I wasn't in front of my desk when it happened. It let me carry that long into the next session, and obviously we got that drop. And by the time I saw it, I was already down like 4 or 5K, so I had to bring that back. I had to bring that back up to break even, and then I just passed the account because that's just how I was like, nah, I didn't like that. So, mm. And especially with today's price action, if you was able to capture all these moves, man, a lot of money was made today. A lot. We caught this move during the stream. We caught a lot of moves during the stream. I mean, I started the stream with this move going up. We caught this move going up during Powell. I took a loss on this one. I took a loss on this trade, I think. But then I was able to get that money back going long right here. And I was able to get that money back and was able to pass the account. So all in all, today was a good day. Hmm. But the one thing that the Bulls don't want to lose right now, they don't want to lose 807. They don't want to lose 800. Losing 800 will definitely be the straw that breaks the camel's back here. I mean, I can see why the Bears are selling this. I mean, they're still shorting off of this trend line. And price is underneath this support trend line turn into resistance. Let me turn this off so you guys can see it a little bit better. So I can understand why bears are shorting this, but I've seen this so often, especially on days where we have a major news event. I'm not saying that it will happen this time, but usually when we have a news event the next day, the price action just goes from, okay, so yeah, we're in supply, but we're just going to break and we're just going to continue to trade higher. And then once we get to where we want to go for the news, then we'll come back. There will be no price action in this area and it will just melt down. I've seen that price action happen time and time again. So we'll see if this is what we get today. Again, that is a high risk trade, very high risk. Hmm. Hey, yo, what's up, Toxic FX? How you doing, man? Mhm. I'm interested to see what so MFF. It's crazy how it's crazy to think that MFF is my main prop firm that I trade. based on how they started out. Based on how they started. And I was thinking about this earlier today that man, MFF is my home. That's like the prop firm that if I can only trade one, MFF would be the prop firm that I trade with. So apparently they're coming out with these new uh from eval to straight to live accounts, which that will definitely change the game with a static drawdown. So not only will after you pass an eval, you'll go straight into a live account, you'll have a static drawdown. That changes the game. That definitely changes everything. Top Step was already somewhat behind. Now it's getting to the point to where I mean, if MFF comes out with this account and it's successful and the traders like it, uh, why? I mean, it's you would have to convince me why am I going the Top Step? Top Step better respond to this, or they're gonna see them numbers drop. Top Step can't be a stubborn old dinosaur. I mean, the game is changing. I mean, they did innovate and the first time, and they only innovated because they were forced to, not because they wanted to. And now, if they want to stay on top, they're gonna have to innovate again. Mm-hmm. You say you're long right now on USD JPY. Let's look at that. I think my brother trades that. My brother, he's in the forex too. Don't quote me on that. I know he trades one Japanese pair. I don't know if it's USD JPY though. I'm gonna have to ask him about that. If this is what he trades, but is that Japan? JPY, is that Japan? He says watching SPS in view of yesterday's range, noting top third of the previous range. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was just talking about that as well, but I was talking about it on the Nasdaq. Uh, so I don't know if you're talking about forex, but are you talking about the S&P 500 on the future side or forex side? But in terms on the future side, uh, the ES has been trending, and I'm kind of I doubt that. I mean, unless we see a break here, uh, the price action suggests that we continue to go up. Oh, XBX. Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. Yeah, let's actually look at XBX. Let's look at that. I actually agree because the structure is still overall bullish, regardless of what your heart is telling you. The structure is still overall bullish. And that's something that I have to remind myself constantly um, that is never too high to buy as long as price is respecting structure. It's never too high to buy. Never too high to buy. Now, if this thing breaks structure and it pulls back, then yeah, that's too high to buy. But if it's respecting structure and it pulls back and it's still adhering to structure, that pullback, that's as low as you're going to get because it's going higher. And I mean, that's interesting. We had a bearish engulfing candle and we had two range candles closing within this bearish engulfing candle. So I wonder what they're going to do with that. I mean, it did close higher than yesterday's candle, but I mean, if we see probably maybe a retest at a high at 61. Hmm. I use the continuous contract. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, the market is still bullish. So I will say it is hard to be a bear. Yeah, it really is. It really, at this point, I'll just take the losses on the bull side and let the bears get whatever energy that they need to get out and just buy the bounce. Actually, so the market had to, it's a deep pullback though. And the bears are trying to sell this. I mean, like I said, if they're successful here, I'm just going to be an unhappy person and then I'm going to have to flip short because I highly doubt it. I mean, I really do. If the Bulls somehow pull support right here out of their ass, I'll be like, wow, that's very interesting. It would show the aggression of the Bulls because there's no some more support right here. I mean, we already got price to break out from this area. The Bulls already bought the retest. So if this thing were to pull back into this area and the Bulls were to buy the retest again, that would be interesting. My question is, if the Bulls have to buy this retest a second time, why would y'all allow price to come down this far in the first place and break structure? Because as soon as we break structure, uh, the Bulls are not only fighting self stops, they're fighting aggressive bears at that point. So we'll see. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah. Bears become buyers. I mean, bears have been buying this market since last year. Mm. Yeah, like yeah, these institutions don't have all the money anymore. They have the most influence on the markets for sure. For sure. But man, does these market makers got to get really creative now because you have retail with money now. I was like, what the hell? You got retail with money, and then now the market is filled with us prop firm traders now too. Yep. Especially with these prop accounts. Uh, I mentioned this in the think with bookmap chat. I'm starting to notice that a lot of the moves are now starting to happen at that 310 cutoff. Like the moves will stay, like the market will stay stagnant until after the 310 cutoff. So let's look to see if it did it today as well. All right, so we didn't see anything today, but the only reason why I'm noticing it because it seems like all the good setups are happening the last 10, 15 minutes or the last hour that the market's open. And they hold back until that cutoff, and then that's when you see that move. Yeah, that wasn't a good example. Like they could have just dropped this at the end of the day, but they chose not to. It's like they don't finish the move anymore until after that cutoff. Actually, I think I was in this. I was in this, and I was highly upset that I got this move up. I think I was waiting for a retest of this area right here. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember this. I was waiting for a retest somewhere in these highs, and this thing pumped up, and then it pulled back. It pulled back, and then it pulled back exactly at that 10-minute mark. And as soon as the 10 minutes was, or it reached that time frame past 310, it finished the move and it would have hit my target. I was so livid. I was like, man. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's exactly where I was. Mm. He says that they're not that clever meme. The hell, yeah. It always seems like there's always something. Well, in terms of when I'm thinking of retail, I'm thinking obviously of the stock market now. It just seems like whatever is the next meme, that's what's going to pump. Imagine being Bed Bath and Beyond or AMC or GameStop, having your company turn into a meme and having basically the internet save your company. People are still waiting on that GameStop short squeeze, but unfortunately, what people don't understand, especially when it comes to stocks, is that uh, if it were to squeeze, they'll just dilute it more. They'll just dilute the stock more, unfortunately. So uh, I don't think there's, how do I want to say this? There's not enough juice to squeeze for it to be diluted and still continue to move up, because that's exactly what he's going to do. The same thing with AMC. I remember being a part of a space where someone was actually trying to tell people about AMC, and the cult, they attacked him. And obviously he was right. He told these people not to put their life savings into AMC because when it happened the first time, they weren't prepared for that. I mean, before the internet and the memeing in stocks, they haven't seen anything like that. So they weren't prepared for something like that to happen. A lot of businesses, a lot of hedge funds went under because of that. Obviously, the bigger ones were able to just pay the fines and not having to close their positions and wait until the price actually came back down to get out. But a lot of firms had to close down. They won't allow that to happen again. They will not allow that to happen again. And these CEOs, they are what's the word I'm looking for? By law, they have to do these things. So they that any CEO, let's just say that your stock was at $50 and it squeezes to 500, they have to dilute those shares. They have to, especially when you know your company's not worth $500, especially. So you dilute the shares, make more shares so more people can get into it. And if it squeezes, you just do it again and keep doing it. Actually, let's look at GME. Yeah. Yep, just look at the name of the. Yeah, dude. Trump coin is at like $15. I'm kind of plotting on it. I'm waiting till that thing gets to like maybe 10, maybe $10, maybe five. We'll see what happens with it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Because if Trump needs money, I mean that's easy money for him. Easy money. All he has to do is say something, and that coin will pump. It'll dump again for sure. I mean, it's gonna dump again. All he needs to do is say something, and that coin's gonna pump. And if you can get into it at a nice price and put in the money that you can afford to lose, because this coin has, or at least on the website, I think it has like a 4-year life cycle. Oh yeah, 4 years, 3 years, 3 years, 3 years. So a lot can happen in 3 years. After 3 years, if you're not out of it, this is not financial advice, but they can withdraw all of, I mean, they can withdraw all the coins out of whatever trust they say that they have, and it's for 3 years. So just be mindful of that. Yeah, GME is at $30 right now. We did have a squeeze all the way up. And that was the short squeeze right here. This will probably never be allowed to happen ever again. You probably will never see this again. And from this area, dang, GME got back up to $70. Huh, that's interesting. GME got back up to $70. Mm. Obviously, if the Bulls don't hold, we're going to see a stop run, obviously. And if yeah, that's shit. Underneath $8, I mean, underneath $8, uh, looks like the next area of support would be around like 4. 120. Mm. Yeah, what's up, Nameless? I trade Bitcoin futures. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was we was talking about that when the Trump coin first came out. That's all this is. I really don't know why anybody would put real money and chase a meme when the whole point of a meme is to just make quick cash. Is a pump and dump. It's a pump and dump. It's nothing more than that. I mean, shit. When it went past $10, I knew that I had to sit back. I knew that if I chased it, then I wouldn't be happy. And by the time I was able to get money into the account, the coin was already dumping. So it already reached $70, and I wasn't able to get in time. So I knew that I missed it. So if you're trading futures, then it's very similar. Future is traded with leverage. Uh, there are firms out there, like the firm that I'm using, to where I don't have to risk my own money. I can trade this simulated money, which if you're not familiar with these prop firms, they are touching the real markets. These prop firms are telling you that they're quote unquote simulated, but our trades do influence the market. Uh, the sim to funded, if you the people behind, I think Project X and Top Step, it's in their is in their TOS, their terms of service. We're touching real markets. It's just that I think on so I'm this is just me making an assumption. I don't know, but I think these firms probably have like insurance or something. They probably have a deal with CME or something like that, to where you are touching the real markets. That is for sure. But at the same time, all the money that you're making is obviously not withdrawable or anything like that. But that's not the point. Futures is leveraged. So you can trade the Nasdaq. You can trade Bitcoin futures. I really enjoy trading Bitcoin futures. I absolutely love this instrument. I love trading it. It's always shorting. I can be in a short from the highs and ride it to the lows. I absolutely love trading this instrument. Uh, the Nasdaq. I mean, if you're going to trade your own money on this, I would always recommend starting off with micros, obviously, for obvious reasons. Obvious reasons. But if you're trading a prop firm, shit, why not? At this point, I really don't even see a like every time when I start to think about putting money in a personal account and trading futures from my personal account, the only thing that I'm thinking about is if I put $1,500 into a personal account, if it was really that serious, I could have bought a straight the funded account for half the price and with more leverage and with more buying power. So it's like, I mean, it's just hard to justify a personal account. It really is. I know that the offset would be that you can withdraw whenever you want, but I don't think people trade and withdraw from their account the same day. I think most people are trading, they're building the equity in their accounts, and then they probably withdraw like maybe weekly and monthly anyway, and not something that's done on a daily basis. But that would just be my assumption. I know that I don't withdraw money out of my account. Mm. Yeah, depending on what your trading style, there's a bunch of prop firms. Uh, Obviously the top three right now is MFF, Top Step, and what's that other one? Apex. And those are the top three, the top that most people are going to go to. Take Profit Trader is another one, but I feel that only certain people enjoy trading with them based on uh, how they run on the funded side. Not saying that they're a bad firm, but um, a lot of people is going to be trading mostly with MFF, Top Step, and Apex. Apex is probably the most that people trade with is Apex, and then probably Top Step, and then MFF would probably be a third. Don't ever be scammed by UProfit. They used to be a reputable company, but now there are just a bunch of scammers. They had a leadership change over there. The original CEO is no longer with the company. They have a new one, and obviously, she took the integrity with that company when she left. So it's no longer a good company anymore. And then you do have your what I would like to call like third party firms, like your Blue Sky, Tradeify, TickTick. Not saying that these firms are bad. It's just that they're just new. They're new. They came into the game after this space has been already established, but obviously the innovators, the people that were in front, were obviously Apex and Top Step and UProfit and Take Profit Trader. I use Apex and MFF. I do also trade with Blue Sky, but I haven't taken a payout from them yet. So, or I have not experienced the payout experience with them. I'm pretty sure they pay out. It's just that I haven't experienced with them yet. Um, Honestly, I haven't gotten a payout with Apex. I keep blowing the accounts. That stupid trailing drawdown. That's the only prop firm that I haven't gotten a payout from. I've gotten a payout from UProfit in the past when they were legitimate. I've gotten a payout from Top Step. I've gotten a payout from MFF. Right now, MFF is my favorite because I like how when I request a payout, I instantly get approved. And then I get an email that Rise got my payment. And then I get an email from my bank that Rise transferred my payment to my bank account. And that happens all under 5 minutes. I like that. I absolutely enjoy that. No hoops, no bullshit. I followed your rules. Now it's time to pay up. And they pay up. It's all automated. So I enjoy that. The only thing that a lot of people, well, people may not like is that you can only have, I think, 3 funded accounts at a time. You can't have more than 3, but I think Top Step you can have 5 if I'm not mistaken. You can have 5 funded accounts at a time. Apex you can have 20. And what a lot of people do with Apex is just they just copy trade between all those accounts, make $200 across those accounts, and they do that consistently and they get payouts from all of those. Uh, yeah, you do. And I actually I agree with you. Toxic FX, I do. Uh, Trading for a payout kind of does shift the psychology. It does. It does. When it's your own money, any money that you make is yours. You can do whatever you want with it. When you're trading for a payout, it's kind of like a game. It's, did I follow this rule? Did I follow that rule? You got to trade for a certain amount of time. You got to make a certain amount of money before you can withdraw. Um, like with MFF, the account that I'm trading, as long as I maintain a 30% consistency, and that's on my wins and my losses. So as an example, if I have 5 winning days, then at on the fifth day I can request a $1,200 payout, and that's on their smaller accounts. Obviously, as you get the bigger accounts, you can request more, but I just stick with the smaller accounts. You get 5 days, 5 winning days on that with a minimum of $100, you can get a $1,200 payout, and you can do that every week. A lot of these firms, they tell you that you can get like your first 10K or 10K of it, you can get 100%. And then if you're withdrawing more, then there's like a 90 or 80, 20, 9, 10 profit split. Top Step, they basically put you in. So once you get, I guess, what you cross their threshold with payouts, they put you in a live account where all your payouts are from the market and it's all yours. All you have to do is pay like the data fees and stuff like that, which is 100 or something dollars, which I don't know where they get $100 from. At least with my own personal account, I'm only spending like maybe $4 for CME data. So I don't know why they charge you 100 and something dollars, but I guess that's how they're getting their money. All right, so we'll see if the market's going to let me stay in this one. Obviously, I thought the bulls were going to find support here. What I probably should have done was waited for them to retest this low again. But with that bullish engulfing candle, I thought the bulls were going to hold this. So we'll see. If the bulls fail to hold this range, then we already talked about what will happen. That means that this market is going down. Or at least for right now, until we get the CPI data to come out. Yeah. All right. Well, if I lose here, I'll just get my money back. But anyway. Yeah, that is absolutely true. Uh, that is absolutely true. Uh, these prop firms, at least their business model is based on they get their income from unprofitable traders, and they pay out their profitable traders with the funds from their unprofitable traders. Um, passing the account itself is a challenge. Reaching payout is a harder challenge because you're not only are you trading the markets, but you're fighting against emotions. You're fighting against your mental, and you're fighting it against your emotions. You're overthinking things. What if it falls through? What if this? What if that? Blah, 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 blah. You're fighting against your emotions, especially if you're down. Uh, I'm pretty sure if you're coming from a personal account, these prop firms are really, it's just another day. If you're profitable in your personal account, you should be profitable in these prop firm accounts. Because shit, you're risking your own money. And if you've already overcame the emotional turmoil that comes with that, these prop firms ain't really nothing. All I gotta do is follow their rules and get paid out. That's it. Why you say that? So are you talking about? So I know that Forex has prop firms. I don't know what it is about the Forex side. I haven't traded on the Forex side, but the futures is very simple. You trade the price action, you trade the spot price. Because I know in Forex, you're trading against your broker. And that's already putting you at a disadvantage when you're literally taking money from your broker if you win. And your broker is obviously not going to allow that to happen. You're tugging away from their bottom line. They're going to hit you with them spreads. And if them spreads are wide enough, you can get into a position in red, which is absolutely crazy. And you need a move to actually bring yourself back to green to break even because of these spreads sometimes. And especially during volatile news events, they can widen those spreads so wide that that right there can blow your account. So, uh, I initially was going to go into Forex with my brother until I started doing the research. And I was like, I got to do all this math and crap. I want to do this shit. It's like, why am I? I'm not trying to be no damn rocket scientist. I'm trying to gamble and make money. And that's why I never went into Forex. You got to worry about this. You got to worry about that. But I know that if you're not in the States and you're overseas, Forex is your only form of trading. And that's the only option. And shit, good thing that I didn't do it because now a lot of these, because they're not regulated, they're not even, some of them are not even accepting US clients. Hmm. Yeah, it definitely is, man. Yeah, my trading partner traded Forex. Shit. Yeah, that's heroin right there. If the Nasdaq is Nas crack, if this is crack, Forex is definitely heroin. Especially with the amount of size and levers that you can have. Mm. Oh yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. Mm. So what is your favorite pairs to trade? All right, so it's highly likely that I'll get stopped out of this. I wasn't kind of heavy in this. Uh, I figured that we was going to get a push, so I went in a little bit more heavier than usual. So I'm not gonna move my stop. I'll accept the loss. The only thing now is I gotta think about um, where we might see the market hold. I mean, this low right here, if the bulls are still in control, this low right here looks like a good spot for them to sweep the liquidity underneath it, and we can see them find support. So I'm gonna be looking for this little level right here, this low, and for them to hold. Now, CPI tomorrow is definitely going to dictate the direction of the market. So, we watched Powell testify to the Senate today, and I can understand why. No disrespect to nobody. I understand that Trump has the mention of his name can elicit strong emotions in people, but we're traders, and obviously he influences markets, so we have to talk about him. It seems like Powell was there the whole time listening about these people rant about Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And we were thinking like, why are they talking about Donald Trump and Elon Musk? They even called Elon Musk a shadow president. At any other point in time, if anybody were to say something like that, they would be classified as conspiracy theorists, lunatics. Honestly, that's defamation because I mean, shit, you can sit here and say, I mean, we all know that there are shadow governments. We all know that Elon Musk does have influence in this administration. We know that. But to come out and say it on a national stage that he's a shadow president and that he's trying to do this and he's doing that, yeah. And they were asking, it's like they were trying to push their propaganda and then trying to turn around and say, so what do you think about this, Jerome Powell? Don't you think that Trump and Elon are terrorists, that they're taking away rights, they're dictators, this and that? And I'm like, what the hell is these people even talking about? Anyway, they weren't even talking about what they were supposed to be talking about in that whole meeting, and I just thought that was just the absolute craziest thing in the world. But he testifies again tomorrow. Usually, the same thing, the same line of questioning is usually the same for tomorrow. The only difference is that we also have CPI coming out tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be asked about the CPI and its results. And I think once he talks about that, because obviously now the market wants to know, will the Fed cut rates moving forward? They held steady in January. I think our next meeting is in March, and it's already being predicted that he's going to hold steady again. So depending on what the CPI says tomorrow, if it says that the market is still strong and that inflation is going down without the need of a rate cut, then I feel that CPI will probably drop us. If it's saying that inflation is accelerating, then, or is it, no, is it, man, with these whole good news, bad news crap, let me think about this. So if it's saying that it's accelerating, okay, so I got stopped out of that one. If it's accelerating, that means that they would have to raise rates, or at least that would be the speculations. It would mean that they would have to raise rates. So I mean, if we see price accelerating or CPI or inflation accelerating tomorrow with the CPI report, then we could see a mega drop because the speculation would be that Powell could potentially raise rates. If it shows that it's going down, then he can hold steady. So I really don't know. Huh. Anyway, I guess we just have to trade the reaction tomorrow, as we always do, because it doesn't matter what we think. It matters what these firms with the money think. So it's already, I think the Fed Watch tool is already suggesting that he's going to hold steady in March as well, and that he's not going to cut rates. You know what? Honestly, I would not be surprised if she came down to stop me out and then she pops right back up. I really wouldn't be surprised. It's kind of what the Nasdaq does. But I'm pretty sure they're going to ask him about CPI tomorrow, and that's going to probably affect the markets. But if he doesn't talk about CPI, I really don't see tomorrow's meeting to be as influential as it was today. Mm. Yeah, it's obvious. It's obvious. I mean, especially, I mean, it's basic human psychology, man. When people call you out, if you're in the wrong, people get defensive. And we're already seeing how defensive the other side is getting. That's what, I mean, honestly, that's probably what's feeling is like, dude, what are you hiding? Why are you getting so defensive? Why are you calling me names? Like, it's, I mean, it's just so, it's amazing how we call ourselves, or humans, we call ourselves advanced, and yet we haven't moved past basic name calling, deflection. I watched this video, and This female speaker was trying to gaslight the audience, and then somebody had to say, "Well, what would you call it when you're given money and all this money is not accounted for?" And of course, she obviously she didn't have an answer. She was just reading from her script. Gaslighting is one of the tactics of manipulative people. Obviously, um, they kept using. They're trying to paint the picture of uh, a helpless old grandma getting scammed, getting this, and they kept using that same analogy. So which one is it? Are women strong and independent, or are they weak and vulnerable and they need protection? Which one is it? It's both. It's whatever they need to fit their narrative. And honestly, when you understand the game and you see it for what it is, you just stop listening. You just stop listening because it's the narrative is what I need it to be to get what I want. No matter if it contradicts something that I've said in the past. That's all that crap is. But mm, all right. Mm, we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see. But yeah, I appreciate you putting that information in the chat. We'll definitely see what happens. And all right, so this is something that I really need to I really need to stop fighting against these trend lines. I really got to stop fighting against them. And I guess this is what trading with your heart gets you. I really thought that they was going to hold this, but man, that trend line was in the way the whole time. I just ignored it. Mm, I guess you live and learn. Gotta stop fighting against that though. Mm. But we'll also we'll watch it again. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We watched the testimony today. I don't think we need to go through that. I don't think we need to go through that again. I don't think we need to go through that again. No, this is not a bar. Or yes, I mean technically, yeah, this is a bar timer. This is so I trade on tick charts. I don't trade on time charts. So this is each candle represents 900 ticks, and this just tells me when the next bar is going to form, how many ticks I have left in the candle. These tick charts are very similar to the almighty 1 minute chart. Don't ever let nobody slander the 1 minute chart. Don't ever let nobody gaslight you and say that, oh, you're a lower time frame trader. For all the professionals that I've learned from, and we actually have someone that is a very good trader and that traded at that level. And he also recommends the 1 minute chart. That 1 minute chart is being traded because it provides the most data, especially when the market is moving and you need to make a quick decision. Let's actually look at the tick chart is very similar to the 1 minute chart. I'll never let nobody gaslight you into not trading this 1 minute chart because it's the truth. This 1 minute chart gives you so much information that a higher time frame chart does not give you. Look at these ranges, look at these breaks of structure, look at these pullbacks, these breakouts. I mean, This is, man, dude. Uh, oh man. This thing better not have stopped me out just for this thing to pump. But the 1 minute chart gives you the most information. You know where your structure is, man. This thing looks like it's about to pump. Mm. I mean, I don't want to do it because it's like, it's just so much. Just so much. Mm. I really don't want to trade the ES. I really don't. 75. I don't have to take. I don't have to deal with none of this crap. Mm. Mm. Oh, of course, of course. Referencing the higher time frame, obviously, is a must. That is a must. I was referring to just trading. Don't ever let nobody say that you can't trade on the 1 minute chart and be successful. But obviously, the 1 minute chart needs to, or I guess let me be more clear. I'm saying that with the assumption that your bias has been referenced on a higher time frame chart and that you're trading on the 1 minute chart. A lot of people will say they're trading on the 3, 15 minute, 30 minute, hourly chart. The 1 minute chart is definitely a legitimate chart to trade on. I'm not going to lie, I'll be highly upset if this thing bounces. Yeah, I mean, shit, the lower than the 1 minute is the second chart, the seconds chart. I mean, if you can trade on that, shit. I'll leave that there and I'll just come back. Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. And that's why I just keep it on tick charts. I feel that tick charts is probably that happy medium, especially with the Nasdaq. I think I don't know what this chart would be equivalent to, honestly. Maybe a 9 second, 1 minute chart. But man, this structure. On the other side of the screen, I am referencing a higher time frame chart. I mean the highest I go is an 18,000 tick chart. That's it. I don't go no higher than that. So this is the chart that I'm always looking at. I feel like this is all I need. I don't necessarily need to reference. The only time based chart that I reference is the hourly chart. And the only reason why is because when I was learning, I was taught that the hourly chart is your directional filter. So this is the only only time-based chart that I reference is the hourly chart. So I have a good sense of direction of where the market potentially wants to go. You know, if somebody actually was actually telling me about range charts, I'm gonna have to really sit down and try to understand because I mean we can look at that real quick because I don't get range charts. To be completely honest, I don't get them. I don't understand what's the point of them or why I would use it. Let me actually use it on this gold chart and because they look like to me it's like well I mean it just looks like a regular chart. Crap, I forgot how to do it. Okay, so it's like range or something like that. So let me just do a 60 range. So this is a range chart. I mean, what am I looking at? What am I looking at here? This is a 60 range chart. I mean, obviously the structure is way different. Um, yeah, I don't get it. So trades by Matt. Oh, no, I appreciate your information, Toxic FX. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm always here to, cause shit, I'm I'm consistent, but I still make mistakes. I'm always open to listening to other people's opinions about the market because obviously everybody trades differently and yet somehow we all make money. And that's the beauty about this market. We all have different trading styles and yet we all make money. So you don't ever have to apologize about sharing your knowledge or opinions because I am listening. I am taking them in. I am considering them. I mean, shit, I think tonight was a good example of a mistake I made right here. I mean, even though the trend line was literally right here, and we saw how the market literally rejected at this trend line, because of my bias, because of my heart, I felt that the market was going to hold and continue upwards, even though that this trend line was in the way. This trend line was in the way of my bias, so I ignored it, and this is a mistake that I made right here. So I'm gonna get over this trading with my heart crap. Like I'm gonna get over it. There are times where it's like I guess my heart really wants to help me trade for whatever reason, even though it's rarely right. All right. Yeah. You got a diploma in technical analysis. But yeah, Toxic FX. You got your own tools that you've created. And yeah, Nate, yeah. Uh I used to trade with the 9 EMA myself. I've tried, so there's this other strategy with the 9 EMA. I think it's the 14 EMA, the 14 and the 30. It's like the 14 and the 30 something EMA. And like the 9 EMA is supposed to be like the fast trend EMA. And if you see like a cross between the 14 and the 30 or something like that, on the 15-minute, then you're supposed to do this and that and blah blah blah. And I'm not saying that that strategy didn't work, but it just didn't. It didn't. I guess it doesn't work for my style of trading because that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for tops and bottoms. I'm not looking to trade the middle, and I'm looking to catch the tops and I'm looking to catch the bottoms. So that's the information that I want because I feel like if I can just catch close to the top and close to the bottom, then I don't necessarily need to wait for a setup, if that makes sense. Like by the time it's already coming down and setting up for other people that are waiting for confirmation, I can just get out and I already have my money. And that style of trading might not even be for everybody. Uh, Actually, I talked about that as well. That y'all guys will see me get in before the thing sets up. I'll short bullish momentum if it reaches an area where I think that it's not going to go further. And I just have to kind of just sit in the back and forth between the bulls and the bears, and then eventually the market sets itself up. And then by the time it sets itself up, I'm already in profit. But I am starting to notice, or I am starting to acknowledge that if I just wait for the setup, I can get these clean moves going down versus getting in right here, uh, getting some of my targets hit right here, having to pull all the way back just to get the rest of my targets. I will acknowledge that just waiting for this move right here is probably the better option, but that requires a lot of patience. And yeah, I prefer to already be in the trade. Like right here, I mean, even if with all this crap right here, just the confirmation, this right here, just catching this move right here, just waiting for that confirmation back. Like you see that the Bears are holding this level. The Bulls are, every time they get here, is getting aggressively sold down to the point to where the Bulls are giving up. Their stops are getting used as fuel, and we're getting this clean move down. But I prefer to get up here. I prefer this. And then if I need to add, I'll add right there. But yeah, that's just my style of trading. A lot of people would call that crazy, but I prefer to trade that way. And the EMAs that I use is the 2150, the 200 EMA, and VWAP. Uh, that's the only uh, indicators that I use, EMAs, indicators, whatever you want to call it, that I use. I'm slow. These pivot points are slowly growing on me. I'm starting to see the market respect these pivot points more often than not. I'm really starting to notice that these pivot points, if you bought S2, I mean you literally caught the bottom, but I mean S2 lined up with the trend line. I mean, so I mean if you had a trend line, you was buying S2 regardless, but just having that pivot point right there kind of gave you confirmation. right there. You got that breaker structure right there at 793. You caught that. You bought what, S2, S1. You caught that move going back up to retest that high. So these pivot points are growing on me. I still don't trust them per se, but they've shown themselves to be very accurate at times. I'm not going to sit here and say that they are not. Oh, okay. All right. So you said it's based on dynamic tools. They're updating every day. And so when you say that, so is it talking about, huh? So what, do you have like a software that kind of tells you where people are getting in at? Is this like a liquidity tool? Or is this a tool that kind of shows you where the trend is, where the structure breaks are, and stuff like that? No software. Mm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I mean, I'm gonna let this run, but mm, probably. Like I said, I'll let it run. And if I need to get it back tomorrow, then I'll get it back tomorrow. But I think mm, yeah, and I think that's the best way to make money, because we always got to remember that everybody can't win. Unfortunately, we're not playing a game where everybody can win. There has to be some losers to pay the winners. Unfortunately, unfortunately, you got to be there's got to be some losers to pay the winners. And so if you're using a tool the same way that the masses are using it, unfortunately, that's like jumping off a bridge just because the person in front of you did it. And you know what? That's something that's something I have to work on. Sometimes I have my directions. Well, not sometimes. Most of the times I have the direction right, but there are times where I get fooled. I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't. It can become very confusing about where the market really wants to go. Because if you have a big, massive move like this, if I didn't have these levels marked on my chart, I would have thought that this market would have kept going down if I didn't have these levels marked. Because this was such an aggressive move in the moment. If you had a clean chart, no lines, no nothing, no support, no resistance, no nothing, I would have thought this thing would have kept going down. I probably would have added to the short. I probably would have held this short. But because I saw that price was kind of holding at this level and the bears wasn't breaking through it, okay, let me get out of this thing and let me flip long. So you're saying your bearish chart system is MT4? Oh, okay. I mean, obviously that's the best part. It's when to be in it. I mean, if we can just catch moves like this, if we can just catch this leg without the bullshit, I think this is everybody's ideal area to get into right here. Just knowing when to get in and when to sit on your hands. Yeah. Wait 7 minutes. You know, uh, that's something else that I'm working on. FOMO. 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 I've gotten better at waiting for the confirmation. I've gotten better at it. But I definitely would have shorted this. Waiting for it to come back and fail. I mean, for this thing, so let's just say 950. So this took about 30 minutes to form. This right here took 30 minutes to form. If I saw, so I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this right now. Usually, when price gets into an area where I've kind of marked out as support or resistance, I will somewhat wait to see what happens. If I see that it breaks out and then we fail, then I would be in the short. I would be in that short. But I'm not gonna wait for. I'm not gonna wait for this, and I'm not gonna wait for this. I'm gonna get in right here and then endure this pain until we get this move down. What my goal would be patiently waiting for it to set up. So all I have to sit through is this. Mm, something like that. Uh, controlling, yeah, yeah. The confirmation. Oh, oh. So the question is, yeah, what's up, Florida? Shit, if you just joined in, we're about to wrap up the stream in the next couple of minutes. We're about to wrap up this stream. I will say this though. Uh, last year the pre-market was awesome to trade. This year the pre-market, or at least so far, the pre-market sucks. Last year you can get in at a good spot and let it ride into New York. Now it's like uh, you gotta wait for London now. You gotta see what London does. You could have. Hmm. Shit, the pre-market was you buy the dip and you hold it into New York. That was the pre-market strategy last year. Now, I mean, we're getting similar price action, but it's not the same. Obviously, it seems like it's taking until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to get here versus we'll probably be here at 9, 10 o'clock, and then the market is already consolidating and we're waiting. And now we're just waiting for the move going back up by 9, 10 o'clock. 8 o'clock, the market is moving. 9 o'clock, it's setting itself up. And by 10 o'clock, the move is happening. If you miss the bus, you're just going to have to get on the next one. Now it's like, shit, it's not even moving at all anymore. Yo, I appreciate that, Nate. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, as long as these markets is moving, man, I'm gonna stream it. This is basically life now. I mean, I guess before I can see why some people can say that streaming is very tiring. When I first started, it felt that way, but now it's just yeah, this is just I'm just to me is I'm just sitting in front of my desk with my camera on. I mean, it's not is nothing different. I mean, if my camera is off, I'll be doing the same thing. Obviously, I won't be talking to myself, but it's basically the same thing. So it's not as energy intensive as it used to be. But I can see if that people that stream all day, I can see how this could be. Mm, but I will always show up. Mm. He says 1 minute left. Who has reclaim? Are you talking about? Are you talking about this chart right here, Toxic FX? Well, I guess I should have just. I mean, I shouldn't have bought it so high. I guess I should have been waiting for. Oof. Oh no, I'm looking at what you said. You said 2.4. Is that minutes left? It says 1 minute left. Who has reclaimed or lost control? Are you referring to this chart right here? Because technically, I could retry in this range, but I'm not going to. I'm going to bed after this. I'm going to bed because all price has done so far is tap back down into this range. And I think the Nasdaq is going to do exactly what I think she's going to do. I had my stop down here. I mean, if I had lighter size, then I could have been more. I could have had my stop further back, but mm, I was in kind of heavy looking for a quick push up, but yeah, we didn't get that. Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. All right, but all right, guys. I'm in the stream here. We'll come back tomorrow morning. We'll definitely trade the reaction to the CPI release. Um, this range right here is make a break for the Bulls and the Bears. It's make or break. Either the Bulls hold and we continue higher. It's the ES chart. Either the Bulls hold and we continue higher, or we're going to see a big drop. We can potentially see a move back down to 600 and further if the Bulls don't hold, especially above this level right here, 765. I really don't see the Bulls coming back if we lose 765. I really don't see that happening. I really don't. There's too much sell stops underneath this low for the Bulls to recover after that. It's too much. You got this trend line right here, and then you got this level of support. There is nothing but stops, sell stops underneath this low. We will see a run for a run down. So it is very imperative for the Bulls to hold this area. It is, and we all know that what happens once price touches this box. You can see that on at this Sunday session. You can see that we gapped underneath it and we gapped right back above it. And I think that if we touch this level again, we're going down. We could go back to 20K, 29. We can probably get back here down here to 29 almost because there's no support. I mean, you got V bottoms, you got the market trending and bouncing as it's going up. You barely see any ranges forming. It's just V bottom recoveries, V bottom recoveries, V bottom is trending. So I mean, it's just going to use the stops underneath these lows to keep going down further. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. Okay. But all right, guys, we'll come back tomorrow. And with that said, peace out, everybody. Have a good night.